All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It is the 30th of August in the year 2020, and another person has been killed, this time in Oregon. A clash in Oregon leaves somebody dead. This is going to keep happening. This is going to keep happening. I listened to a live stream I did with the YouTuber and author, I believe, Days of Noah, maybe a couple weeks ago, and he was saying that if Trump were real, if voting was real, and Trump was really running for president and wanted to seal the deal, instead of letting all these areas run wild, he'd go in there and stop it. Well, they're not stopping anything. Everything seems to be getting much, 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 much worse. As I say that, a second sheriff's department's vehicle blows by me, and I'm in an area that is in the news, we'll call it. So I wonder what that's all about. But order ab cow, that is their mantra. Order out of chaos. Burn the whole place down. Now, if these weren't evil men, they could institute a new way of being. No problem, instead of doing it in the fashion that they're doing it, under the guise of lies, which is Israeli Special Forces mantra, by any means necessary. It escapes me right now, but the Israeli Special Forces, or the Mossad, uses deception for everything. This entire pandemic, scamdemic is a deception, which is why if you didn't watch the news, if you didn't interact with sheep, you wouldn't know anything's going on. It's kind of a nice day. It's actually raining a little bit where I'm at right now. Finally, I haven't seen rain in a long time. It's raining, Mike. Another person has died. Here we go. This time in Oregon. They're going to keep sprinkling them around here and there and everywhere. I bet the story is loaded with numerology, as they usually almost always are. If it is, chances are it's not legit. I was looking at the 17-year-old shooter's picture on the cover of Drudge Report yesterday, and wow, does it look like a crisis actor. It looks so phony and staged. It could be real, but it looks so phony and staged. And the kid's 17. And that brings me back to Trump talking about taking the guns and we'll deal with the courts afterwards. Take them now, deal with the courts afterwards. He was saying that you have to wait to be 21 to get a handgun, but anyone 18 years old can get a rifle. Well, here's the deal. Before there was a great big push to take away the weapons from the citizens of the United States by its government, there never were any mass shootings.
When the political narrative of the ruling elite changes, the current crisis that America is facing at the time changes as well to fit the new narrative. What I mean is this: when the priority was gun control and attacking the Second Amendment here in America, we saw a rash of mass shootings occur, like the mass shooting at the Walmart in El Paso, on a busy street in Dayton, Ohio, or at the concert in Las Vegas. We saw mass shootings at places of worship like Sutherland Springs Church in Texas, on college campuses like Virginia Tech, and at schools like Sandy Hook and Stoneman Douglas. And with that, the narrative of gun control was pushed down the throats of the American public.
Either represent the people or get out. The people demand a law banning the sale of assault weapons. The people demand we prohibit the sale of high-capacity magazines. The people demand universal background checks. Stand for us or beware, the voters are coming.
Currently, the narrative that is being pushed is revolution, anarchy, and the complete destruction of the current system of government by the nation state, which will eventually lead to America's subordination to a global government. And we are now seeing the constant killing of so-called black men and women by police followed by the subsequent riots, unrest, or revolution, as in the case of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and now Jacob Blake.
As the mass shooting started happening, people started looking into it, and lo and behold, they were full of holes, no pun intended. Like the time I ended up on the mainstream news where I was driving this truck and I said, if some of it's a lie, all of it's a lie, and I was talking about Las Vegas, the person that they associated me with saying I was trolling this victim who I had no clue who it was, he was the guy that looked like Fabio sitting on the hospital bed, long blonde hair, and apparently, according to the story, he had been shot in the head.
One of the BC victims of that mass shooting in Las Vegas is being re-victimized, this time by online trolls. Global News first spoke with Braden Matika in the days following the attack. A bullet had grazed his head. As Paul Johnson reports, as if that wasn't enough to deal with, now he's being harassed online, accused of being part of a greater conspiracy.
Had a great time in Vegas here, 30th birthday.
Braden Matika had been through the worst experience of his life. Shot through the head in the Las Vegas massacre, he was saved only by luck and the quick actions of strangers. Only days later, he mustered the strength to tell his story publicly. Now, he's been rewarded with this.
It's a false flag with crisis actors.
In the weeks since the shootings, survivors like Matika have been targets of cruel online critics who
AR-15. Well, when that occurred, I was dating a medical professional, and I didn't tell her a thing. I showed her a picture. I said, if this guy got shot in the head, even grazed by a bullet, and came into the emergency room in an ambulance, what's the first thing you do? She said, shave his hair so we can see what we're working on. And yet that wasn't the case. So many of these shootings were staged, phony, contrived. They just didn't add up. And now that we have this pandemic, we don't have any more mass shootings. So apparently, far-right, extreme lunatics that want to go shoot small children for whatever reason, or shoot up a movie theater for whatever reason, they don't want to catch a cold, so they stop shooting people. You see how the agenda has completely shifted away? And they count on the fact that sheep just get led by the nose like sheep do. And they won't even look into the fact that, hey, what happened to the mass shooting every single week, if not every other day? Now that COVID's here, that's the cure for threaten somebody with getting a mild flu and they'll stop killing people. But, long story short, according to the mainstream, another one's down. Every time somebody dies because of these Soros and Gates and billionaire-funded groups, now bear in mind, not all Black Lives Matter members or protesters are paid Soros operators. They don't have to be. If 1 out of every 10 is, which it's probably worse than that, that works. Because mob rules. Mob rules. That's all I'm saying. Richie from Boston. I am the banned one. 9/11.